Welcome to Pine Thicket Philosophies, the non-podcast podcast where we do everything the podcast experts tell you not to do. If you are looking for a finely polished and professional podcast crew, well, folks, we ain't it. But if you want to virtually join a group of old outdoorsmen from southern Appalachia, as we sit around the fire and talk about any one of our favorite topics, we'll pour a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and enjoy. All right, welcome back, guys. We are, I don't know, this will be like, I don't even know what episode we're up to now. This will be like 20 or so. But as we like to do, we just kind of plopped everything down right where we were sitting. So this is pretty much, you get what you see. This is what we've been doing most of the day, except for when we were in our respective places taking a nap. The rest of the time, we've been sitting right here talking. And so we just kind of thought we would bring you guys in and include you in the conversation for a little while. So we are on some private property that we obtained permission to camp on. And this is a beautiful location. We are high atop Sand Mountain, right on the bluff overlooking the Tennessee River. And we are 2 miles from the nearest paved road where we sit right here now. And last night we had an awesome supper. Jace came in last night right at supper time. Me and JR got here about the same time. I think he got here, about 30 minutes before me, and then Josh and Larry came in after that, and we've just been kind of chilling out. Jace came in at supper time, but he had to leave. He had a show to do today. And then Eli, for the first time ever, is joining us. He came in this morning and had breakfast with us, and she's been hanging out with us. And this is his first camping trip with us, and we're dragging him into a podcast. So this may be, after this, he may be like, I'm never wanting to be around those old dudes again. But we are on some private property, and so we had to, we did have to obtain permission. And I think Larry kind of worked that out for us. At least I hope he did, because I didn't. So, but last night we had the first time since, 2005, we had the largest geomagnetic storm. So we got to see the northern lights, or the, what was it?
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. And that's the first time we've ever got to see them that vivid this far down in Alabama. And we got some really cool pictures and stuff. So I'll try to put some in the video for those of you watching on YouTube and on Spotify video.
One thing we did do is we wound up with a crick in our neck from looking up all the time.
Yeah, we should have.
And you get kind of dizzy out there, looking up and kind of wandering around.
We should in the pitch black.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have just carried our chairs out there and sat back.
That'd make too much sense.
Yeah, it would have. But it was really cool to get to see that. Of course, we're not the only ones in Alabama that got to see that. I think people all over the world got to see that. It was really cool. So far this week we have had, what did we say a while ago? We've had tornadoes this week. We've had a geomagnetic storm, which resulted in the Aurora Borealis last night. And we have, for the first time since Abe Lincoln has been president, right? The multi-generational hatching of cicadas. So we've got cicadas all out in the woods. They're more in that direction, which is kind of strange. We can't really figure out why they're that way so much. But the 17 and the 13 and the annual cicadas have all hatched out at the same time. And so we don't really know what's next, except the Starlink satellite's supposed to come over tonight. But, yeah.
It may be moister ground down that way is the reason we hear them down there, because the hatching out seems to be along streams and rivers more than it is, out in the drier areas. And we don't have hardly any out here on the mountain compared to down in the valley.
Right.
You get in some of them secluded valleys down in there with little streams going through them. It's like being inside of some sort of machinery. It's really loud.
Yeah.
Just down around Scottsboro, it was really loud. And you get on over around Gurley and over in that direction, even with the music playing and the windows rolled up, you still hear it in your vehicle.
Right. So we can't have a Bite Me Expedition camping trip without talking about, the menu from Poe's River Kitchen. So let's just go ahead, JR. What did you prepare for us for supper last night?
Yeah, for supper last night we wanted to do something a little bit different. I done fried chicken, which is always good. We done fried chicken thighs because that's really the best part of the bird as far as I'm concerned. And we had some fried taters. Got to get her fried in. And of course, we started out with appetizers. We just got in some good, fresh, right out of the ground Vidalia onions. This is the time of year when we're betwixt and between onions. And I was at one of our local big stores, and I was squeezing onions, and the red ones, the white ones, the purple ones, all of them were soft, and I didn't even buy onions. I was so disgusted. But then I found out that I had ordered 40 pounds of Vidalia onions, and they came in time for this trip. So we had onion rings to start everything off. So nothing like a good greasy onion ring, to get your stuff started. I had picked a pretty good sized mess of poke salad, and so we had poke salad, and I cooked some pinto beans, and so we had beans and greens, and I had some fresh garden spring onions to crunch on. That went quite well. And for dessert, I couldn't decide if I wanted a banana pudding or a pineapple pudding, so I done both of them in the same pan. One end of it was pineapple, one end of it was banana. I put all the Niller vanilla wafers in there, but on top, to give it a little bit of extra, I put the Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies all over the top, and that give it a little bit of extra because that peanut butter flavor goes with bananas or pineapples as far as I'm concerned. And it was quite good. We had cornbread last night with the meal. It was just a good old country meal, and we had a little bit of garlic bread to go with it. So we was pretty well full. If you didn't get enough to eat, it was your own fault because we threw enough away to feed a pretty good sized army. And if you don't know what tonight's going to bring us,
roll on into it.
Yeah, when I first started doing the whole camping thing in my teens, when I started camping by myself, one of the things that I would fix, which was fairly simple, kind of a one pot kind of thing, was chicken and dumplings. And so that's what we're going to have tonight, with some fried okra and some baked potatoes. So I thought that would all go real good. And we got the garlic bread tonight, and I made a coconut cake to for dessert. So that ought to be pretty decent. We're still eating on that pudding that we was putting together, so we've been kind of whittling on it ever since yesterday, about to get it under control. One reason that I started out making chicken dumplings on camping trips is because it was simple. Just a little bit of dough in there for the dumplings, and then cook a chicken. And there were even times when I
love this.
Carried live chickens.
Well, you didn't have to worry about them ruining that way.
Yeah, no refrigeration whatsoever. We just tied a string around their leg and just tied it to a tree and let them just wander around until supper time or just a little bit before. And so one chicken met its demise, and then the next night, that lone chicken, who was probably wondering where his buddy went, uh, he went the same way. So, and it worked out just fine. It was it was really very simple, and I thought nothing of it at the time. Now that might make people a little bit squeamish to see their supper out there tied up to a tree.
That makes me think of that reel that I've been seeing on TikTok or Facebook or whatever lately of Ron Swanson walking up to the company barbecue, and he's walking a pig on a leash. And he goes, "Hello, everybody. Would you like to meet your meat?" They're like, "You're not going to kill that pig here." "Oh, yeah. The kids are going to help me." Yeah, it was pretty.
You know, when the chickens being there, they could eat some of them critters and bugs that might get on you, like ticks and stuff.
Yeah.
Keep them cleaned off the camping area.
Yeah.
That worked out
Dual
pretty
purpose. Dual purpose. And what's for dessert tonight?
We got the coconut cake. Yeah. I've been experimenting with the old-fashioned White Mountain icing, which is the base for a good, coconut cake. So I got it all stuck to it, and I'm really looking forward to it because I do seriously like coconut, and coconut cake just makes it even better. But anything with coconut is good. So yeah, looking forward to slicing into that one a couple of times before midnight.
So was your preferred squirrel or chicken?
For dumplings? Well, that's hard to say. Now, I guess I really do like chicken better, but when you get right down to it, squirrel dumplings is not too bad. But yeah, due to reasons that everybody knows about now, or at least this group, why I have fixed squirrels so many different ways is because they were plentiful at the time.
Yeah,
but
we might not need to put all of that story.
Yeah, we don't want to tell about all of it because some of it might even tend towards the illegal. I'm not. Well, yeah, it is. But
it definitely would be nowadays.
Definitely would be nowadays. Yes.
Nowadays, oh my gosh, could you
There'd be
imagine?
People standing in protest.
Oh
yeah.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Protesting in the streets.
I would make national news. I think.
Yeah, probably would.
Real quick, but nobody ever found out about it then. So kind of.
Well, then the security guards probably would have just gone. He's getting rid of them.
Maybe the statute
I just won't say where the security guards would have been.
Maybe the statute of limitations is passed.
It has, I'm sure.
But
besides, I can always deny it.
For them to cancel him in social media, there's no statute of limitations
That's
to be
true.
canceled.
So yeah,
really
that
upset,
would be
yeah.
bad.
Probably shouldn't go into the-
We don't want to get the the social media cops a hold of me.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be good. But yeah, I've I don't even really know how many ways I have fixed squirrel. I know I've made squirrel sausage, and I have made squirrel dressing, just like you'd make chicken dressing, which is pretty good. And of course, the list would go on like on Forrest Gump, where Bubba was telling all the different ways that you could prepare shrimp. I think I could just about compete with that list with squirrel. Although I prefer rabbit. Rabbit's a whole lot better. But we have not had rabbit on a camping trip.
I was about to say, I don't think we've ever.
But we have
squirrel.
had squirrel.
Squirrel jambalaya.
Yeah. So
That was, oh man, that was
I
so
don't know
good.
if y'all have noticed, but we have a mess load of turkey that is around the community now.
That's
Really?
true.
I've not.
Yeah, I've noticed many more turkeys, so that might be something to consider.
Yeah, that might ease into our board affairs.
Fresh turkey.
Mm-hmm.
It is turkey season too, ain't it?
Yeah.
They should, I think it's just closed.
Oh, okay. I'd seen a picture of somebody.
Yeah,
on Facebook
I think it's
that
just
killed
closed
a
unless
It's
they've
getting
expanded
closed.
it. It used to close on May the 1st.
I had never seen turkeys behind my house. There's probably 30 back there now.
Cool.
Cool.
I saw a couple because was coming into this property.
I saw one yesterday on the way in.
As I like to do a lot of times, I'm on. And breakfast this morning. You didn't talk
Oh
about
yeah,
breakfast.
yeah. We done something that is little unusual for breakfast camping. I built an oven, portable fold-up oven. Uh, we kind of took a little bit of video of me putting it together, and I made a prototype on our last camping trip, and it worked pretty good except catching on fire.
It happens.
You know, but this time, we didn't have anything flammable, and it worked out pretty good. And I managed to cook, biscuits in it, and so we had biscuits and gravy and eggs and sausage and bacon. Of course, we had turkey sausage and turkey bacon and real bacon, and it was right decent. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But in the morning is going to be a better breakfast, I think.
Yes.
It's one of them that once you've had it, you kind of crave it, kind of thing. Several years ago, I come across a recipe for cinnamon roll pancakes, and it's fairly simple to do. There's a lot of ahead of time prep, but it's a good pancake. It's got a little swirl of cinnamon, and it's got a cream cheese icing on it, and it's diabetes.
Yeah, you just about go into diabetes shock when you.
Yeah, there's plenty of sugar involved in it.
Yes, but
yeah,
so good.
It's pancakes on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yep. And Cam, it's Cam's favorite. He's the one that requested it for the swamp trip, and he's not here. So sorry,
Yeah,
Cam.
I'll eat an extra one just
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. If we all eat an extra one, that would be about what Cam would eat of those.
That's right.
He does love those.
On the cuisine side, me and Mr. Poe were talking a little bit yesterday, is like we're going back to our roots of camping, really, because our settler friends years and years ago, they brought entire kitchens. They brought entire, everything they could carry in a steel-tarred wagon. So it's kind of almost how I feel when we're camping. We're bringing the whole enchilada here. We're not just bringing a little sealed up pack of freeze-dried food or something. It's a real meal. It's our forefathers did this.
Like the frontiers.
Yeah,
Going across the plains with the chuck wagon.
Yeah, so it's kind of how I relate this.
And in one way, you look at it, most of the people that live here now, my family included, got here by floating right down this river right here behind us, or behind me. And, so that's kind of fitting. My family floated in the, I believe it was the 1860s, into Langston. And then, kind of spread out throughout the county here. So,
So my camping deal was a can of beanie weenies and a pack of crackers.
well, yeah, we used to carry, Pop-Tarts for breakfast, and then we would carry, kielbasa sausage and cook it on a stick over the fire. I mean, if we was just doing
Right. Yeah.
So this is next level.
beyond next level.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, who hadn't cooked a hot dog on a camping trip on a stick?
yep. All right.
Well, I my family liked to camp, and we'd wear out a Coleman stove back in the old days when you had to pump that bad boy up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can still remember camping at Chisnall Springs and smelling the bacon and eggs cooking on that Coleman, and trying to paddle the boat over there to breakfast as quick as we could before it had a chance to cool off. But yeah, we even back then, we were serious about the meal times, and it was something like that. And of course, I remember a lot of times, for supper we would have hamburgers, cook them. Of course, we usually fried them on the Coleman stove too, but real food. Of course, I've been on a lot of camping trips where I wish I did have a can of Beanie Weenies, you know,
Yeah.
just to tide me over.
So sometimes you expect to cook or catch or kill
Yeah.
your meal and don't have success. You're like, oh, should have brought that beanie weenie can.
Yes, yeah. There has been a time or two when we was expecting to have fresh fish, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, we've had a few of our paddle trips that was
Yeah.
like that. I remember that one year we caught three
Yeah.
fish that first day, and they were little. But
Well, I think-
luckily, you had brought like hamburger patties or
Yeah.
something that you'd already cooked and froze.
Just got to have backup just in
Yep.
case. But more often than not, on some of those paddling trips, excuse me, we caught more fish than we could eat.
Oh yeah.
And it took quite a while. It took a lot longer to fillet them than it did to eat them. So,
Well, we have
Yeah.
pulled up before and had a bucket full of fish, and me and Glendon and Robert be setting up everybody's camp, and you would fillet the fish and have them cooked and have supper ready before we got everybody's hammock and rain flies put up. So that's happened before.
well, you do something like that enough, you get pretty quick at it.
Yeah, it's something to see on the riverbank when he breaks out the battery and the electric knife and lays the boat paddle down as a fillet board and just. I mean, it's something to see. So, well, all right, we have talked about the fair. Now let's go around and talk a little bit about what everybody's favorite. And I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't had a least favorite. I haven't had anything I can crap about least favorite, and I don't really know which is going to be my favorite. I guess just because it's just such a rare thing, I'm going to have to say the Northern Lights last night, just because it was so rare, and where we are, we're so far out away from everything. I think we could see it with the naked eye better than a lot of people could. There's pictures all over social media and everything, but we were able, where we are, to see a good bit more with the naked eye than I think most people could. A lot of people were saying that they couldn't see anything where they were through the naked eye. They could only see it through their cameras, which is kind of sad.
But we don't have the light pollution
that's
out
what-
here. The nearest security lights
2
miles away.
2 miles
Yeah.
away, yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have any of that light to interfere.
Yeah, Scottsboro's 15 miles that way.
Yeah, it's
It's probably our
we're
only.
not getting a lot of light from there. I mean, some, but not much.
Not much.
Yeah. I mean, down in the valley down here, but it's all the way across the river. It's a good ways over there to the across the river to the nearest street light.
Did you ever look and see if it was the space station, the International Space Station, that we saw last night while we was looking at Northern Lights?
I did
I
not.
tried looking to see where the track was, but for some reason I couldn't get nothing to pull up that definitively showed.
Because when we was looking at the Northern Lights, I was pretty sure that was the International Space Station. It came
was-
over. It
yeah,
was
I
going
was-
in the track that it usually goes.
And it looked the same.
It looked
Yeah.
the same.
Same
so I thought-
speed.
same
same-
speed and everything.
And we have seen that thing on several occasions.
Multiple
Camping.
occasions. You was talking about. I don't know who mentioned about. We thought should have carried our chairs out there to watch the Northern Lights last night. The whole time was talking about that. It made me think of this one trip that me and Brad and JR went on. We was just doing a one-nighter, and just so happened it had to be the night of one of the meteor showers. We found us a good place to camp. Was like, well, I wonder if we're gonna be able to see the meteor shower. Well, there's a cornfield back through the woods a little ways up the hill. There's a little cornfield up there. I was like, we could probably sit on the edge of that cornfield because that's facing the right way to see the meteor shower, the way they say to watch. We got up there. We cleared us a trail out through the weeds and stuff with our paddles. Got us a trail beat out up there. Figured out where we was going to set. And got up there, and the corn was like laying down. It's like a big area of it, just flat,
Like crop circles.
like a crop circle. And of course, we was sitting up there that night watching. And I don't remember, we was going back to camp for something.
Yeah.
You went back to get something to put on because it's getting cold.
Okay. And I was like, because we was talking about
Children of the corn.
children of the corn, talking about the crop
Crop
circles.
circles.
And I was like, I think I'll just grab my
Yeah, I bet.
pew pew. And
Yeah,
JR's
yeah.
like, grab mine.
Yeah, it was.
It was kind of eerie.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
eerie, but we did see
It
a lot
was
of
strange.
meteors that night.
We sure did.
At one point, I mean, it was just you couldn't even point to all of them. But yeah, the crop circles were.
That was
weird.
strange.
It
It was
was.
weird.
Because, I mean, it's
And-
right up against the woods, and it's kind of back up in that little
Hmm.
nook in the mountain.
And
almost.
it's not like somebody came in there and drove over them, because they were just, there was no way that a vehicle could get in to do that. Where it was without.
You couldn't see no signs of a vehicle being in there.
Right. And
It wasn't those pretty patterns like you see on TV.
Oh yeah,
But-
ones out in,
but
in
The
Europe.
corn was laid down flat in places here, there, and there,
Mhm.
and it was quite unusual. I hadn't seen it before or since.
only thing I could think of is, how a lot of times when we're going down that particular creek, we'll see corn in the bottom where beavers have drug it down, but that just seemed like way too much for beavers to do.
Yeah,
Well, they usually just cut the stalks down and drag it down. This was
Just
still
pushed
laying
over,
there.
yeah.
They're just laying there.
Was it a perfect circle?
I
or just
don't
like
know
a-
if
I
it
don't
was.
remember because it was
it was
not.
just,
It was
it was
not.
just mashed down places.
Yeah,
It wouldn't,
yes.
I mean, it was not real circular, but you would have a flattened out place, and then over there another flattened
Yeah.
out place.
It's weird.
Some were large, some were small.
We sat in the largest one. That way we could get in the middle of it and see all of the.
Yeah, we didn't have
And-
no corn obstructing our view.
Yeah. Yep. It was weird.
Maybe the aliens just like, these boys want to watch this here meteor shower. Let's just
Leave
go
'em
fix them a
alone."
spot to watch it.
Yeah. All right, Josh. What about you? What's been your?
Well, just relaxing and not doing nothing. It's not hot. A little cool at times, but it's not hot. It's just been great hanging out.
Yeah,
Watching the lights last night, that was pretty cool.
I must be going through menopause or something, because I've been burning up all day, and they're in. I'm in
Hoodies.
shorts and a t-shirt, and they're all decked out, and
It was pretty chilly this morning.
yeah, it was chilly this morning.
It was cold last night.
It was pretty chilly last night.
While the wind was blowing, it was cold.
What about you, Jr.? What's been the best part, and do you have any complaints?
Well, no complaints. It's been nice.
I figured your complaint would be that we have cell
That
service.
was I was fixing to say. Yeah, we're going to have to find a place where there's no cell service, or at least be a lot further away. Those cell phones they kind of take away from the whole grandeur of the getting out and about, but sometimes they are necessary in case you had to be reached for an emergency. Yeah,
5 minutes
emergency.
away.
And what for years and years and years he has called these our Google boxes. Get out your Google box and look this up. Get out your Google box and look that up. Now, what were you calling it a while ago?
Well, it was a devil box.
The devil box. Yeah. Yeah, the devil box.
Yeah, usually I cut mine off or leave it in the truck, and I done neither. And I've got it here now, and I'm sitting here looking at it with disdain. I don't like it yet. I'm tied to it because I'm a modern human being. But I try not to look at it too awful long at a time, because I think it's stealing my intelligence. And I think it's listening to me all the time.
No, never.
Never.
It shuts off every 30 minutes, and I don't know.
Wow, we've been going 30 minutes.
Wow.
So, do you want us to just keep talking, or you want it on video?
You want us to talk about you?
Even you talking about the cell phone, and talking about having it out today and yesterday, with the circumstances of the tornadoes this week, I can understand why you actually don't have it in the truck and you have it on, because Glendon's place getting hit.
True.
So it was kind of a necessity this time, even though it was an evil necessity.
And it did have to do a little bit of tornado business on the phone today.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's necessary to have it, but Lord have mercy, it's nice if you need to reach someone. It's not nice if somebody's reaching you.
Yeah.
Well, it's no longer at your convenience to answer.
Yeah, it becomes an inconvenience.
Because if you do not answer it, they're going to call back. They're going to text. They're going to choose some other.
Or they'll call one of us maybe if they know our numbers.
Yeah,
So it's overpowering. Because back when you had just the landline, you can choose not to answer it. It's your choice.
Well, you can choose not to answer your cell
Right,
phone.
but
They'll just
it's
blow it up.
But
You know,
yeah,
about
exactly. They're like
100
texting you every 3
notifications.
seconds.
We know you're there.
Like, answer. Why ain't you answering?
Well, I'll tell y'all my favorite spot, if you're done,
I am.
is over the last few years where we're at on this private property has became kind of a special place for me because I've met some people here and interacted with a lot of young people that hopefully I've positively influenced. But it's at risk to say it's positive. So, and this is the first time that we as a group have camped out here. All of us have some, well, except for Eli, have some history.
Well, actually, he does.
Well, he does.
He does.
Yes.
So, yes.
And
true.
see, I would love to tell that story, but we can't.
Yeah.
I mean, without,
We just got to be careful.
yes,
So, but yeah, the rest of us have like real
like childhood memories.
childhood history from this area. So it's good to come out here as a group and interact and cuisine for sure together. 'Cause
Yes.
I don't know. I feel good about it here.
So we were talking about this trip, and it was, we said it was going to be about food, fun, friends, and JR goes, it's going to be an effing trip. Food, fun, and friends.
Fellowship, maybe.
Fellowship. Yep.
Fellowship,
Add
that's a
that in
good
there.
one.
Yep.
We've talked about farming.
Farming.
So how many other F words can we bring
You
in
can
here?
come up with a bunch.
Some don't need
Well,
to be.
all we've used to eat is forks. No spoons. So
Okay, we're stretching now.
Well, we did discuss forestry.
Forestry,
We was talking
yeah.
about Virginia pines versus white pines
Yeah.
versus
Yeah, and
longleaf pines.
I know that you can't see it, but there is a log cabin near us and what choice of log was used to fabricate that.
I may put some pictures in of the camp area here.
That would be okay. Just
and we did sit around a fire last night, and we'll have another one tonight probably
if the wind
if the wind lays
Settles.
back down.
settles.
Which it's not blowing near as bad.
Oh,
I mean, it's blowing today, but nothing like it was yesterday.
But also along with that, being here in this, to me, a special place is looking back over the week where this community was earlier this week,
yeah.
and then we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Weather's great.
Well, and thinking about too, the past few days, yesterday and today included, the weather's been great. The temperatures have been lower. And think of all the people that lost power with the tornadoes.
Oh yeah.
At least it's not miserable hot, and they're just sweating to death
Yeah, the
somewhere.
rain
No
stopped.
power.
Like in previous storms, the rain continued for
Yeah.
days a lot of times, and
It's like when it ended, it cleared out, perfect. The weather, temperature dropped. It's nice and
so,
cool
yeah, that's
for all the people out working, trying to
Clean it up.
clean
Yeah.
up and all that. It's
Our
a lot better
linemen and
weather
stuff,
to be
yep.
working instead of that heat.
Yep, because those linemen have earned their money this week, boys. I mean,
Well,
it's been,
even the fire and rescue,
Mhm.
police, ambulance, EMTs, all those people.
Yeah.
Thankful for every one of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that they would have got power back on in Henniger as quick as what they did.
Oh,
Glendon
yeah.
got back today, right?
Well, 10 o'clock last night.
10 o'clock last night. Okay.
They got him, and after seeing the mangled up, way that it was left, I wouldn't have thought they'd had the power back on for a week.
It was in the storm. Let's see. So 10 o'clock last night, that was Friday night. The storm hit Thursday night.
Yeah.
Right?
No, Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
About 10 o'clock. So.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
o'clock.
it started.
10.
The worst of it hit around 10.
10 to midnight. Yeah.
Then there was another one that came through early morning.
Yep.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Then of course we was in the storm shelters at work by between 7 and 8.
Well,
8:30.
we were leaving. We were delayed for 2 hours, and then they came on and said, "Hey, another tornado." I was at the bus lot getting my bus ready, and another tornado warning, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to delay it for another hour," and then they got to getting more reports in of what the road conditions were like. They had already called me and told me you can't run half your route. Don't even try it. And then we had other bus routes. One that just completely, they said, just park your bus, don't even go. And so it was going to be bad. And so they finally decided that we didn't need teenagers out trying to drive through all those power lines and trees and stuff down.
Well, and water over the road because it rained a lot.
The one storm that came through that hit Henniger, no, let me back up. The second one the first one hit Henniger, and then the second one came along the same path, but it did not drop a tornado. But we were under tornado warnings the whole time. We were sitting there, and we were listening to the radio in the storm shelter, and Brad Travis comes over the radio and says, "This is like something from a movie, folks. We're watching 3 rotations climbing the side of Sand Mountain," which would have been right here, right through here where it was coming up. And so we're in the storm shelter thinking, good grief. But that one storm dropped 2.63 inches of rain at Dad's house, which is my house right beside us. Wow. That's a lot of rain in about 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was ditches that were washed out into the road that hadn't been washed out in years, leaves.
Yeah. Well, there was, and I guess it's from I don't know where they came from, but they've been doing a lot of construction, putting water lines and stuff in there in Pisgah in front of my house and around the school and stuff. But there were 2x4s, 2 and 3 foot 2x4s washed out in the middle of the county road in front of Mom and Dad's. Have no idea where they came from, but they were out in the middle of the road. So, all right. What about you, Eli? What's been? I know you've just got here this morning.
It's my first day.
Yeah.
Well, right off the bat, I'm gonna say being out in nature because that's always therapy to me and my favorite. But specifically this trip, it's definitely the hospitality that I've received on this trip, and also the all the hilarious stories that y'all been telling. I don't think I haven't stopped laughing this whole time.
Well, we have we have a lot of stories that plethora.
We've acquired them over many years,
and
scratch the surface.
The podcast doesn't even begin to scratch the surface, really. It really doesn't.
There's a lot of stories that can't be told on the podcast, probably.
Yeah, probably.
If you want to keep it family friendly.
Oriented.
Well,
there's some you could tell that's a little bit more.
The shower story is semi-PG. It's R-rated.
The which one? The
shower. Water bottle shower.
Oh yeah, the water bottle shower.
That's PG.
On the river.
That's R-rated.
It's.
Here we go.
Well, I guess you could tell it because they was a family witnessed it from the bridge.
Well, it's been talked about on been talked about on the podcast. I don't remember which one, but
he hadn't never heard of it.
No. We were on a camping trip, and we were on like night 2, 3 days, of paddling, and it was nasty. I was sweaty, and I was like, boys, I'm gonna go around the bend here of the river, and I'm gonna wash up, and I'm gonna change clothes and get freshened up. So I go around the bend, and there's a nice little sandy beach there, and I'm like, oh man, this is nice, and I'm scrubbing up a water bottle and scrubbing up real good, and I call it taking a water bottle bath, I just use, and I'm standing on the banks of the river there, just, around the bend from them, and nobody had come by, and where we were, the water flows pretty good, so nobody was going to be coming up the river. So I'm just standing there scrubbing down, and I hear somebody laughing. And I look, and downstream, 100 yards? Maybe 100 yards, is a bridge across the river.
Oh, my gosh.
And there is a whole family in their minivan has just stopped and gotten out on the bridge. And I'm standing there just like,
howdy.
Howdy. So that's
That's pretty fun.
That's the story there. So,
that particular river is very close to the road a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
But
there's been some more people that have done some private business and realized they were facing the road during it.
Always check your surroundings.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't
see
see
the
the
road.
road.
Yeah,
You don't realize it's a
until
road
a car comes
Until
by.
a car goes.
unless you hear the cars go by.
Then you messed
I'm
up.
not going to say who it was. I mean, we've talked about it before, I think, in videos, but I don't think I've ever put it on the podcast. So go back and watch one of our 260 videos and see if you can figure out who we're talking about. But he was a friend of ours on a trip, and we had stopped to I think we had to drag over a log or something.
Around an obstruction.
And we're all standing there talking, fixing to get back in our boats. And this particular person
Nature had called him.
was wearing a big Pisgah Eagles basketball shirt. That might give it away. And he walks over and is standing there at the edge of the river, just standing there peeing. And all of a sudden, wow, here comes a car. And he's like from here to the door, just facing the river.
Face the river or road.
I mean, facing the road.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't know there was a road there.
Yeah, there's a lot of places along through there where the road is just blends.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
just
see
high
it.
enough that you can't see it.
You just it's right there, because that happened to me. But I was answering a different call. I wasn't standing up.
You just.
What
And
side?
I had just found a little clearing way past where we were, but
Perfect spot.
Since I worked at the county, I explored a lot of those roads. Now, there's the river.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the river, constantly up
Yeah.
through there.
Yes.
You're never very far away from it.
Never. And if you get away from it, you'll be back shortly.
Yep. Well, all right, guys, anybody got anything else you want to add to this one? We've been going for 45 minutes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so we may need to go ahead and wrap this one up. And then if y'all got something, everybody get up and stretch your legs and don't trip over my wires. And then if y'all want to do another one, we'll try to do another one in a few minutes. Anybody got anything else?
Sir,
right
no,
now.
sir.
No. All right. We'll go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. Remember to get out there and find your own adventures, because even bad adventures make great stories. Thanks for listening to us today, guys. See ya.
Buttered salt. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Pine Thicket Philosophies. Tune in next time as we continue to live by our motto: even bad adventures make great stories.